when everything's centralized in one place.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in Minneapolis or in this case Toronto, you could conceivably go to the Bucks Raptors game and then go check out the World Series.
Yes, you could.
You know, I don't have a lot of jealousy for our friends in Minnesota, but they have it. Everything is right there. For the sports fan, and there's no I in team, but media starts with me. For people covering stuff, like the fact that you can do a press conference for one team and then go cover a game for another team and not have to drive more than an hour and a half. That is something I look at and say, why can't we have that? That'd be nice. We have the Bermuda Triangle of Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay. And I know that there's people in Madison who, if you missed the first hour of the program, I did reveal that I have to miss the Bucks opener. I had a line on some sweet tickets. And I'm going to miss that game because my wife's making me go to a musical with her. So I have to miss. I'm taking one for the team.
We don't.
And by the way,
we need taking one for the team stories.
We do. And it's like, when it comes to this is like the score is 97-3 in my favor when it comes to like not having to take one for the team. So tonight I'm taking one for the team. It's a rare occurrence, but I'm just saying, and that distance, I know there are people in Madison listen to us who have turned down Brewers game because it's a school night or it's a Bucks game or, any hint of traveling. If it's a snowy night or something, it's just like, we'll just sit home and watch it on TV. I get that. But you do wonder what our great society in the good land would be like if you took Madison, Milwaukee, and Green Bay and kind of merged it into one supermarket where everything was right there. Like everything was like within easy drive.
We are back live on YouTube.
Hey!
Sorry, no more Beaver videos. So,
what license do we violate? Are we going to get sued because you're using videos and stuff?
No, I've got them all credited.
They're all AI.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got them credited.
And things. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know, Hunter. I don't know about you, but I worry about when KB goes rogue.
Always worried.
What are they going to do?
I worry about the exposure.
No, we're fine.
Worry about the exposure.
We are fine.
All right.
No, we're
not. Shut up. We are too.
Shut
up. Another hot take. I'm officially rooting for the Blue Jays. Even though they're not, we talked about it the other day, they're not really a small market. I'd like to see them win. Because Canada can't win a Stanley Cup, but maybe they can win a World Series. Let them have their party. The Dodgers had it last year. They don't need it again. I want to see the Dodgers go into a colossal tank job. I don't think they will. And I'm probably going to get vanquished in my effort. But I just want to see the Dodgers lose.
No, I don't. I like the Dodgers. I don't have a problem with the Dodgers. Yeah, they're the richest team. I mean, I'm not going out and buying Dodgers gear or anything like that, but I've never had a problem with the Dodgers. And I think we're witnessing something with Ohtani that it's once in a lifetime stuff. Embrace it.
Yeah, Dodgers, like you said, Drew, though, Dodgers won last year. I want Toronto to get that feeling of winning a World Series.
Yeah, I mean,
Dodgers win enough. The celebration that the Dodgers players showed at fans a little bit too was so underwhelming when they won the pennant over the Brewers last Friday.
It's like, is it already old hat?
That's what it looked like. It looked like they just won a random game in the regular season. Like, give it to someone who cares.
Yeah. Toronto will care for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, I just saw on the interwebs that tonight, 25 years ago today, Hunter was probably, had his footy pajamas on and was getting ready for a nap.
Probably.
But 25 years ago today was the Subway Series, Game 2, Mets-Yankees. And Mike Piazza kind of got sawed off on a foul ball, and Roger Clemens threw the shard of the broken bat at him. And both benches cleared.
Ooh.
I was at that game.
I remember you covering that game because you brought me back a Mets hat with I still have it. Mets hat with the World Series logo on it.
So, yeah, and that was one of the my colossally wrong predictions at that point was I thought that Subway Series was going to be the biggest story in the country. And that you would be inescapable. And if you watch like the Today Show, like even non-sports shows would be into it. And then I was there. And the great thing was it was the only World Series I ever covered where I stayed in one hotel the whole time, didn't have to travel.
Oh, the Marriott.
I just set up at the East Side Marriott in New York, and didn't have to just depending on which subway we had to get to the
Yeah.
ballpark for workouts and stuff.
Either took the
That
7
was
or the-
cool and unique. But then I got there and I was walking around the city, and well, that's a thing in New York, when some cities you can tell just walking on the streets that there's a big game that night, like the Cardinals, like
Right.
in St. Louis. You can it's just in the air. And Boston, when the Red Sox have a game, it's in the air. It's
Get
charged.
anywhere near
New York,
Lansdowne.
it's like there's a gajillion people that don't give a rat's ass about it.
Mhm.
And that series fell flat. And I remember the ratings were flat because people like, screw New York. It was almost like a protest that people weren't watching that series. Like, who cares? I don't want to. But Roger Clemens, Piazza, it was the biggest stars, in the game. And I thought it was cool to cover it, but it was underwhelming the way it resonated nationally. But I remember being at that game. Hunter, you were just like literally not even watching the World Series yet.
Right? No,
You were in
I
footy
don't have
pajamas.
any recollection of that series.
Well, go back and watch the highlights. It's funny too, because some of that stuff that I've covered, like I watched that Red Sox documentary of the 2004, the comeback guys,
Mhm.
and I watched that. And I had forgotten a lot of the stuff that happened in this series. I've covered a lot of stuff that I've forgotten about. I'm gonna have to go back. KB, you told me there's a documentary of the '94 Stanley Cup Finals. I gotta watch.
Oh,
Never seen
well,
it.
no, there's a whole series on Amazon Prime that's called Game 7. And it's like 8 parts, and it documents some of the great Game 7s of all time.
Well, I gotta go back.
And one of
watch
them was the 94. That would have been the Rangers.
I was in the building for that. Canucks
Rangers, that one. And then was that Mets Yankees. And there were some other good ones
yeah.
in there.
Red Sox Yankees. with
Red
that.
Sox
Oh my
Yankee.
God.
Yeah, that was one.
The Bloody Sox series.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hot take. There has been already, but there will be pearl clutching about the Blue Jays and their home run jacket celebration. Hunter, you saw that, right?
People
the
don't
other
like
night?
it.
I think there will be people that don't like it.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's cool, but
It is.
there will be people that will complain about it.
Yeah, it's true. People complain about the Mariners celebration. People
It's
complain about the bell when the Brewers had the bell.
Well, the only thing I said about the bell was don't take it on the road. And that's
Sure.
when it went sideways, when they took it on the road.
Hmm.
And you couldn't do that. You can't take it on the road. You take it on the road, you're going to have problems.
So the Blue Jays call their celebration jacket a Barrio jacket. It's started in 2021 when home run celebrations started to become a thing, and they had a blue sport coat, and it had the names of every player's country on the back, along with the Blue Jays logo and the blue jacket on one of the sleeves. And it has the phrase "La gente del barrio," or people of the neighborhood in Spanish. And they came up with it as an idea to represent every culture on the team. And they did it. They debuted it July 2021 at Fenway Park. And it's their celebration. They've been doing it for a while, but somehow, some way, there's going to be some pearl clutching and people will complain.
They've
I
been
happen to
doing
think
it
it's
since
cool.
2021.
Yep.
Wow.
I happen to think it's cool, but
That has stood the test of time.
Brewers got rid of their bell.
Yeah.
Brewers for a while wasn't Adames putting cheese heads on people?
Yep. There's the cheese head.
Cheese head thing was a celly. And so, all right, what's your top 5 favorite cellies?
One of my favorites, it was before and after Hockey League. There was a kid that my son played with who scored on the other team and then skated up next to their bench on that side where the glass was, and then went, on the glass to steam it and signed an autograph.
Oh man,
It's like, oh boy.
that's
But it was
huge.
pretty funny, pretty ballsy.
That's huge.
I know that when my son was playing in high school, the student section had a big easy button, big red easy button.
Okay.
And after they'd score, they'd skate around and they'd hammer the glass on the easy
That's the
button.
easy button.
That was a pretty good one.
What about the and this is right in Hunter's wheelhouse. Hunter, you grew up with the Prince Fielder Ryan Braun boxing celly, home run.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
And then Rogers with the belt.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers with the belt.
The Rogers belt one might be the best in Wisconsin history.
Well, second best.
The best is the bowling pins. Yeah.
No.
No.
The Lambeau Leap. iconic.
Yeah, you know what? That's become such a part of the game. A
Don't even
Packers
think
game,
of
I don't
it.
even think of it as a celly anymore. It's just an extension of the play.
We're friends with Leroy, the inventor. Come on.
No, but am
hear
I
you.
right?
I hear you. It's
just
almost
seems
grandfather. It's like it's in its own class.
right. It doesn't seem like a celly. It's just what you do.
Yeah. Well, and somewhere creeping up is the Wild Bill Contreras with the phone. I think that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is really good.
Oh my God!
And
How
then
good was
Abner
that?
did it when he got the final out against the Cubs. He looked at the Cubs dugout and did the phone celebration. Hang up the phone. It's over.
You know what? The Terrell Owens one where he pulled the Sharpie out of the sock was fantastic. Now going and dancing on the star at
Sure.
Jerry World, yeah, you deserve to get rocked for that.
Yeah.
But I thought and then didn't he grab the pom poms once?
Yep.
And started shaking with them. You know, that stuff is harmless. And now the NFL lets them, do stuff. But when they start getting planned out in advance, by groups, I don't find them to be that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I still can see in my mind the whole Terrell Owens thing when he grabs the pom next to the cheerleaders. It looks so goofy.
Hilarious. Sam on the talking text line 877-794-1973. The Niger Morgan Monster Celebration. That was the year of the beast mode.
Mm-hmm.
And our buddy Alex Sanchez dressed as the guy who threw out a first pitch. That was pretty funny. They celebrated that. That's good. I like it. Keep them coming. 877-794-1973. Patrick in West Bend has a hot take for us on Hot Take Hump Day. Hot take: people who give out Tootsie Rolls for Halloween hate kids. The worst candy to give out. Tootsie Pops are acceptable, though.
Okay, so I was talking to I was talking to my students the other day, and somehow the subject of Halloween came up, and what was the worst thing you ever got? Because we were talking about Reese's, Reese's peanut butter cups, and then it kind of the conversation turned into, what did your parents steal from you out of the Halloween bag?
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of turned into, this is courses for college credit. Yeah. And then it kind of turned into, what was the worst thing you ever got? And one girl says, worst thing we ever got was a toothbrush. So what would your follow-up question be? Got a toothbrush.
Was it from a dentist or?
That's what I asked.
Yeah.
So you had a dentist? No,
just someone who gave.
just someone who's giving out toothbrushes.
My goodness.
The dentist would always do that. The dentist in the neighborhood here have a new toothbrush, right? Halloween, Halloween to a dentist is like pickleball to an orthopedic surgeon.
That's very true. I worked with a guy once who was a reporter, and he was one of those kids, kind of like Hunter, looked way younger than he actually is. And we could probably work this out with Hunter too, but what this guy did was he took it upon himself to dress up for Halloween. I think he dressed up as like the classic hobo or something. And he went trick-or-treating, but he only visited the homes of like local elected officials and wrote a story about what candy they gave out.
Oh, really?
He was writing for like
clever.
a
That's
weekly newspaper.
outstanding.
And I'm like, so here's what I got at this house and at this house. It's like, oh, the mayor gave out full-size candy bars. And like this guy gave us like, 2 or 3, and if someone gave pennies or something, they'd be ripped. But it was like, that was a hilarious thing of who gave out what.
Well, one of the things,
Got a bag of pretzels
Well,
from
here's
the,
another one.
the clerk of courts.
I think this one is genius, and it's very, very similar. One of the assignments I give my students is, I want you to do like we have a PowerPoint party, which is quite popular now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
PowerPoint parties. They said, okay, so I want to see your creativity. We're going to have a PowerPoint party. You get up, you pick the subject. I don't care what it is. All I care is that you entertain me. Right. And you entertain the class. Now, one kid was taking college too seriously. And he got up and did a whole PowerPoint on the ramifications of AI in the business world. And
Oh boy.
And it's like, dude, I think you missed but the one that I thought was exceptionally clever is that politicians, when they're running for office, must reveal their Spotify Wrapped.
Aha. I like that.
I thought that was fantastic.
Well played. Well played.
And I go,
Keep
yep.
them coming. 877-794-1973 gets in. Bill Schroeder is going to join the party. We will not live the high life today with our buddy Adam Pavlak. He is going to join us, I believe, on Friday, but we had to make adjustments. He had something else going on.
Rita says on watching us on YouTube, we would get the red tablets from a dentist. And when you chewed
those
on them, we could talk
fluoride
about that. We
things.
used to have to do that in school.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yes.
That is.
And it would stick
they
to
don't
the
even really
plaque.
work. Yeah, I don't know. That had to be a scam of some kind. I don't know.
Mhm.
Awful. Awful. Keep them coming. It is Hot Take Hump Day. You're listening to Drew and KB.
As I look you right between the eyes, you're paralyzed.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Eagles songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Life in the Fast Lane.
He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane, surely make you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane, life in the fast lane, everything all the time.
Number 2.
Take It Easy.
Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say nay.
Number 1.
Hotel California.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Hear more from the Eagles and similar artists now.
Search for the Eagles on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
Watch me.
KB here, just listening to the Drew and KB show. Not enough for you? You can watch us on our YouTube channel. Just search Drew and KB, click on the link, watch us live, get great content like sea otters playing basketball and Amish men moving houses. Nobody else can give you that content except for Drew and KB.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Prince songs you've thumbed up. Number 3.
Little Red Corvette.
It was Saturday night. I guess that makes it all right. You say, baby, I ain't got enough gas. Oh, yeah. Little red Corvette. Baby, your mind's too fast. Yes, you are.
for you. We're going to talk some hardcore sports. Hunter Baumgart, time for your close-up. Let's hit it.
There's sports, and then there's hardcore sports. If you have an unquenchable thirst for sports, we satisfy every one of those desires. We give it to you the way you like it. Hardcore.
Is Hardcore Sports sponsored? Hunter?
I do not believe so.
Hardcore Sports is brought to you by Sawyer, Utah. On tour now with Zach Hood, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're wrapping up their tour tonight in LA.
Wrapping up the tour in LA, but
Baby.
LA, but look for Sawyer,
wonder-
Utah, wherever your streaming music can be found.
I wonder if
we'll give you the-
Entertainment Tonight is covering the last show of the tour.
I don't know.
Possibly.
What we'll do is we'll give you next break maybe the three Sawyer, Utah songs you've thumbed up.
If you can't tell me
Yeah, the best.
Is
Sawyer,
this
Utah
your
songs
brother?
that you've thumbed up? Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
He
Well,
is,
I think
man.
so.
This is really solid.
Faster, man.
Yeah.
Zach Hood's no joke either.
No, I know.
No. Yeah, they got a good thing
they,
going.
They seem
You're-
like they're having a blast on the road, too.
So you got your brother's out with Zach Hood,
Yes. Opening for Aiden Bissett.
and you're out with us. You're
I
out
am.
with us. So
Yeah.
guess you didn't really guess you really didn't rise to the challenge.
Oh, please.
Hey, there's
Give yourself some more credit here.
at least one half of the H&S Lawn Services family is having success at this moment. You know, Hunter's a rising star. Hunter, hit us with the hardcore, Hunter.
All right. Well, Packers and Steelers is what everybody's thinking and talking about as we head into this weekend. The rematch, Aaron Rodgers against his former team. Packers are the only team he's never beaten in his career. This is what Aaron Rodgers had to say to the Pittsburgh media today. He'll meet with the Green Bay media coming up tomorrow. But he met with the Pittsburgh media today. This is what he said about his time in Green Bay.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, maybe. Have a
Keep it down. Try to
I
listen
know.
to Aaron.
I know that
The
the
hell?
audio really wasn't the best on that one, but you at least could tell that he said he has a lot of great memories from his time there, and absence makes the heart grow fonder. Oh
How about
boy,
that.
yes, wow. So
Yeah, so bygones are bygones. It's so much different than the Favre thing.
mhm.
It's so much different. Now, if he was coming to Lambeau, it'd be a different layer.
Mm-hmm.
We've been saying that this is is it an important game? Well, they're all important. Packers currently hold the #1 seed. Is it important in terms of settling scores? Maybe for Aaron. I think LaFleur wants to win too, to kind of show that, that his first two trips to the NFC Championship game weren't a fluke, and that he's, wasn't
Right.
a creature of Aaron. But I don't know. Is there that much at stake in this? It's going to be fun to watch, obviously, and Aaron Rodgers can still play. This isn't going to be an easy game for the Packers.
No, not at all. I mean, I think, they got their work cut out for them. And as when we talked to Wayne Larrabee yesterday, he said in reviewing tape, this is the best he's seen Aaron play in years. He's more mobile, still has that pinpoint accuracy. It may not bode well. It may not. Hopefully it will bode well. There will
Yeah,
be
hopefully Micah Parsons can wreak some havoc.
there'll
That'd be sweet.
some havoc wreaking.
And the Packers
Yes.
can avert TJ Watt wreaking havoc.
That too.
That would behoove them to do that. But yeah, I'll be interested to see. And he dropped that Hobart, Swamico, Shives restaurant, Piggly Wiggly. He's got the
Mhm.
warm fuzzies, right? He's in his feels about his time in Green Bay. And I'm sure when he left, it was a little more acrimonious than it is today. And time does give you. And by the time he hangs it up and he comes back, whether it's before he goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame or after, when they put him in the Packers Hall of Fame, retire the jersey, do all that stuff, it'll be a warm embrace. And it should be,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, he didn't MF on the way out like Favre did.
No.
So that took a little bit more time. I just didn't like the way it went down. And, so I've softened on Aaron Rodgers, but what used to rub me the wrong way is how he would play so coy. It's like, come on, man, he thought, playing like he was smarter than the room. And in many instances, he was smarter than a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot.
But nonetheless.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see what that repartee is. We'll spin through all that tomorrow. We'll play that in its entirety for you during the program at some point tomorrow when Rodgers meets the local media, our buddies. It's going to be funny, like see if he busts any chops or calls Rob Domofsky Bob or, calls out Bill Huber or, whatever he's going to do. It'll be interesting to see how that repartee goes. With Kenny Clark, it was like this kind of guys were kind of bummed that Kenny Clark is gone. With Rodgers, it's like this might be their last shot at interviewing him. So if you've got anything if you got anything that you're holding in reserve that you want to ask Aaron, this would be the time. So I don't think it's going to be a short session, but we'll see. I think it's going to be fun tomorrow. I'm almost looking forward to that as much as the game. What else you got? Hardcore sports, Hunter.
Yes. How about Jordan Love commenting on Aaron Rodgers as a teammate when he was in Green Bay? There you go. So Aaron was great to me all 3 years. So yeah, it is different. Obviously, the Favre Rodgers relationship was different than the Love Rodgers relationship currently, and all of that it has a factor into this weekend being not necessarily a revenge game. That's Rodgers saying it's not a revenge game, and I don't think it will be. But I do think he wants to beat the Packers as the Packers want to beat the Steelers.
Oh, absolutely. He wants to check that box and say that he beat every team in the NFL. That's his. He likes stuff like that.
He does.
He will pursue that.
Yeah, very much so.
All righty. What else, Hunter?
So Tennessee. So let's go to baseball here. The Tennessee college head coach, Tony Vitello, has been named the new manager of the San Francisco Giants. The team announced today, marking the first time a big league team has hired a manager directly from a college program without any experience as a professional coach. Vitello, who considered staying at Tennessee, where he won the College World Series last year, replaces Bob Melvin after the Giants were 81-81. And so how about that? He's 47. He's regarded as one of the best coaches in college baseball, high energy recruiting wizard, built talent-laden teams and turned a program around that had been mediocre for decades. And he emerged as the Giants' main target after Nick Hundley withdrew from consideration. Wow.
So this guy's coming right from college. At some point, if he hasn't already, he's placing a call to soon-to-be two-time National League Manager of the Year, Pat Murphy.
Yeah, I would think so.
To find out what Murph had to learn. And Murph's talked a lot about what he learned from Counts about the big league game and how he learned as much sitting next to Counts as, Counts got from him over the balance of their careers. Nice of Murph to say that. But to go right, it is different games, different approaches. And even in this NIL era, there's no one on a college roster making $20 million a year, right? Whereas there might be in a big league roster. And this guy comes in, and I saw the stat that he's making his $3.2 million deal first year makes him the highest paid first time manager ever, which is interesting. But also, I think he's taking something of a pay cut to go to the big leagues. Like he was making more at Tennessee.
Yeah, it's going to be around $3 million a year, I think.
That's just wild. In the studio here, MLB Network's on, and the Angels are introducing Kurt Suzuki as their manager, and he's sitting next to Perry Manassian, the general manager. And they're they're going to sink or swim together because if this doesn't work out, Perry Manassian will be the ex-general manager of the Angels.
Yeah, Kurt Suzuki, Bob Nightingale just reporting that Kurt Suzuki only has a 1-year contract.
Very strange. Yeah.
A new manager and you get a 1-year deal.
That's very strange.
Good luck, buddy.
But he's been with them, and so he's kind of sliding down from the
Yeah.
front office the way council did.
Yep.
It's interesting times in baseball. I
It
remember,
is.
I remember when they used to just recycle guys like Danny Murtaugh and Bill Verdon, right, KB? It's like they just shuffled those guys around from team to team. Not anymore. It's all different. Hunter, more headlines. What do you got?
Bucks play tonight. Yes, game 1 of 82. It's a 7:00 tip-off at Fiserv Forum, hosting Chris Middleton and the Washington Wizards. You can expect a tribute video to Chris Middleton tonight before the game. Looking forward to that. What would you consider as a success for the Bucks this season? Is it winning a playoff series? Is it winning a title?
It's
Getting to the playoffs, right?
Eastern Conference Finals for me.
Okay.
With all the injuries and stuff, I think a lot of people are still poo-pooing it. I don't know why, but the national media is predisposed to dump on the Bucks and downplay them and think Giannis is going to leave on the first thing smoking. I thought that Bucks had a pretty good offseason. I thought they retooled, and somehow John Horst, he pulled a rabbit out of a hat and got them younger, and they're going to be more competitive, I think. And Giannis is the best player in the East, so you got a chance whenever you got the best player. It's like with Rodgers. He led some teams that weren't as talented as some of their competitors to some pretty good heights. I see that happening with the Bucks. So then again, much like we saw with the Dodgers this year, regular season doesn't mean a whole lot. What matters is where you are at the end of the season and how healthy you are and how hot you are going into the playoffs. That's what will determine things. But I do think that anything less than Eastern Conference Finals would be, to me, disappointing. Bucks probably feel the same way. That's just my take. Is that it, Hunter?
Yeah, any year with Giannis, especially.
Exactly. You got to Giannis. Let's just maximize and enjoy every moment that he's playing for the Bucks, and hope. You'd love to see him retire as a Buck, but I don't know if that's in the cards or not. But just much like we did during the Brewers run, just enjoy it. Enjoy every sandwich. Enjoy every game you can watch Giannis play and have him here and have him doing Giannis-like things. He's one of the incredible figures in Wisconsin sports history. Let's just enjoy him while he's here. It's my take. Is that it, Hunter?
That's Hardcore Sports.
Do you know what you really need to know, Hunter?
What do we really need to know?
Mr. Owl ate my metal worm. Reads backwards, Mr. Owl ate my metal worm.
Mr. Owl ate my... Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know. You need to know that Hot Take Hump Day continues, and the NicolaLaw.com talking text line never closes at 877-794-1973. But you can also message us through our streaming platforms. Go to the YouTube channel, message us on the X or on the Facebook as well.
Indeed.
You're listening to Drew and KB. 794-1973 gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Talk to us, text us, give us your hot takes. We will handle them gladly on Hot Take Hump Day. Now, before we dive into yet another sidebar discussion, got to tell people about my friends at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It is sports injury season. People are getting hurt playing pickleball. People have nagging aches and pains. Might be a knee, might be a hip, might be your shoulder, elbow, whatever it may be. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin will help you. It is worth the trip. They're building a clinic in Johnson Creek, which will be a runaway success. And if you have any needs in that regard when it comes to orthopedics, don't be an idiot like I was. That's right. I was dumb. I limped around for a year and a half before I went in to get examined, got an x-ray, and I needed a hip replacement. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin took care of it. Within 6 weeks, I was up and running and forgot that I had the procedure. It was so amazing, from the check-in for the first visit to the follow-up after the procedure. Everything was as smooth as can be. It's a world-class facility with world-class doctors running it. The care that you get, the best anywhere. orthowisconsin.com. Visit Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. All right, KB, I watched the end of a show last night. First time I've watched a network show while it was airing.
Oh, really?
In years. The show is High Potential with
Caitlin Olsen.
It's on
where she's
ABC.
got this really insane high IQ, and she solves mysteries.
That's it. That is it. And
I like her.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's well written and stuff, but I just stumbled onto it last night.
I've seen a few episodes of that. There's another one that I just saw. I caught it on Paramount Plus. Is one called DMV, and so it's not quite like The Office, but it is one of those like it's like a set in a Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, and
the least likely premise. I mean,
yeah, Tim Meadows is in it, and he's pretty good. He's kind of a guy who was on Saturday Night Live for a long time, was kind of overshadowed by a lot of people, but when he's kind of out on his own, he's got a pretty good. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's solid.
He's solid, really solid.
Guy. Yeah,
deadpan guy, definitely.
I like the cut of his.
The best thing was one of the best lines in the first episode. One of the women that worked there, she goes, "You have absolutely no idea what it's like to be a single 30-year-old woman." He goes, "Yeah, I guess not. I'm just a 60-year-old black man." And it's like, touche.
Good retort. I like that. I might have to check that out, because we were talking yesterday. Now that the Bucks are starting the regular season tonight, you feel like winter is coming. It's getting dark early. Today was a little bit raw and blustery. You live for those magical sunny fall days. The leaves are turning and it's nice. Gray and blustery, and winter's coming. Like
dog walks
once basketball starts. Yeah, you got Badgers and Sooners on Friday night at Fiserv Forum. Bucks tonight against the Wizards. We'll talk more about that, and I want to talk more about Chris Middleton and that number 22. What are the iconic numbers in sports and in Wisconsin? Sports? Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit. When we come back, however, you will hear Matt LaFleur. He won't be talking to us.
He'll be talking to the press.
We will spin through Matt LaFleur's comments, because it is interview car wash day up in Green Bay as Packers get ready for that reunion with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Matt LaFleur, and we might spin through some comments of Jordan Love. Bill Schroeder joins us in a little more than an hour. Don't go anywhere. It's Drew and KB on the game.
It is.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
The Milwaukee Bucks regular season opens tonight. They'll be playing Chris Middleton and the Washington Wizards. This will be Middleton's first game back in Milwaukee since last season's trade for Kyle Kuzma. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The Brewers have made their first roster move of the offseason, claiming left-handed reliever Sammy Peralta off waivers from the Los Angeles Angels. The 27-year-old Peralta had a .759 ERA this past season and has one minor league option remaining. And the San Francisco Giants have made a historic choice for their next manager, hiring University of Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello. He's the first MLB manager ever to be hired straight from the college ranks. Vitello has never played or coached professionally, but built a national championship winning program in Knoxville. I'm Dave Gasper for the Game Radio Network.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and release the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to number one in both the US and the UK. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album Toulouse Street with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of 72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a number 5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoople get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at number 3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and release the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to number one in both the US and the UK. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album Toulouse Street with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of 72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a number 5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoople get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at number 3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Eagles songs that you thumbed up.
Number 3.
Life in the Fast Lane.
He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane. Surely make you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane. Everything, all the time.
Number 2.
Take It Easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby. Don't say nay.
Number 1.
Hotel California.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Hear more from the Eagles and similar artists now.
Search for the Eagles on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Every day live from Milwaukee and heard on the iHeart app by fans everywhere. This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Gay.
No one knows who gave the order. When I heard it, wasn't angry. And I said to myself, this is the business we've chosen. I didn't ask who gave the order. because it had nothing to do with business.
You can take my urn, nothing will spread my ashes all about it. You can bring me down to Wally Beach and dump the sucker out. Burn me to a run, crisp and toast me for a while. I can really give a shit down, go out in style.
Live from the Iron Jock Studios and brought to you by Bryant and Stratton College Athletics, it's time to rock the rivers and shake the lakes with two guys fueled only by cheeseburgers, bourbon, and ice-cold beer at a reasonable price.
Look.
The reality is that anybody that knows Drew knows that he's been class personified.
I like to say about the world cities and airports.
KB brings just great instincts. That's what you love about him.
I live the way I live, and I'll die the way I'll die.
If Andy yearns for Brenda and Brenda cares about Charlene, who pines for Andy, the three of them form one of these. Kara.
What is it, threesome?
No.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
I'm a clam guy. Only eat clams. That's all I do.
Lesbians. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
37 in a row?
Who wants some man meat?
I do. I want some man meat.
Shut the f- up, okay? Shut the f- up.
Do you want to start drinking?
Yes.
Clear alcohols are for rich women on diets.
You know, I'm going to have to go for 420, Bob. Cheez-Its! Cheez-Its! Cheez-Its!
Light this candle.
He's right. Let's light this candle.
Light the candle.
Take me in the fenways where my ash is all about. Bring me down to Wally Beach and dump the sucker out. Burn me to a rotten crisp and toast me for a while. I can really give a shit, I'm going outside.
Cruising you through a Wednesday in the good land, Drew and KB, along with Hunter Baumgart. We are going to go swing it north in just a couple of seconds to hear from Matt LaFleur, the press conference that he held earlier today as the Packers get ready to face the always hated but never feared Pittsburgh Steelers and former Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he who now wears number 8. He used to wear number 12. I'm not into numbers, but I was thinking about it because Chris Middleton returns to Fiserv Forum tonight. His first game in Milwaukee since he joined the Bucks. I mean, and left the Bucks last year. The Bucks played him 2 weeks after the trade. They played him on the road, but he'll be back tonight. It's going to be an emotional night. They introduce everybody, and Chris is going to get a huge ovation, and the fans are going to show their appreciation. And I'm going to say 98% sure that the Bucks will someday retire Chris Middleton's number 22, and it'll be deserved. He was Robin to Giannis's Batman, and helped, build them from winning 10 games, 12 games to a championship team. And he was there along every step of the way. And he's at the top of a lot of the team's historical statistical rankings, and it's well-deserved. And he's back on October 22nd, which is cool. And it's cool that the NBA had him and the Wizards come in for the home opener so he could be celebrated in this way. Got me thinking about numbers. 22 will be retired. Christian Yelich wears number 22. Good number in this market.
Mm-hmm.
Will Christian Yelich's number ever be retired by the Brewers?
I think it should be.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done Braun yet. Braun had a little extenuating circumstances.
That was the
They were both MVPs. I almost feel like the Brewers would have to win a World Series with Yelich on the team for him to get that honor.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you can think about it. You can conceive of that, right? But I would think they'd have to do Braun first because of his production and longevity and being a one-team guy. I know that there's a lot of talk about whether or not they should do that.
Well, for a long time, the Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin teams didn't have great players on a regular basis. So I thought they would always prematurely retire numbers, and, Rollie Fingers, I don't know. I mean, he did well here, but I don't think of Rollie Fingers as a Brewer. I think of him as a Oakland Athletic. And the other one is Bob Lanier. I mean, he spent more of his career in Detroit. I don't think of him as a Buck. Yes, he was a Buck, but I think of him as a Piston.
I do.
But
if
Kareem,
I
can see.
Yeah, if that's your standard, if it's Hall of Famers, because the Brewers obviously didn't retire Don Sutton's number when he went into the Hall of Fame.
No.
Brewers have pretty high standards for that, but they did. Raleigh was a big part of those teams. I almost felt like that was more for attendance, but obviously the Packers are going to retire 12. That's already been preordained. That's the definition of a no-brainer. It's just a matter of when they do it, right? And then maybe someday they win a Super Bowl. Maybe they'll retire number 1, which was unofficially retired for Curly Lambeau and hadn't been issued until this year when Micah Parsons started to wear it. So
yeah, I mean,
maybe he's on the mix. 34, the Bucks will retire 34. As for the Brewers, maybe on the horizon, maybe the Miz, maybe Churio,
number 11
in
could
15 years or 20 years. We'll see. Depends on if they
Still
can break
kinda
through
early
and
to
win
tell.
too early to tell, but see if they can break through and win a championship. But it does, 22 is a cool number anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The double numbers are cool. 11, 22, 33, 44. I think I've always thought those were cool. I still remember standing in front of Ricky Pierce's locker when he was number 22 for the Bucks, and he was the sixth man of the year, sixth man extraordinaire.
Those were the Bucks teams that
He would take over a game, and I still remember him dropping that third person on. It's like, did you know you're going back in the game? He's like, they knew they needed the deuces in there.
That was my favorite Bucks era. That was
Ricky Pierce,
Paul Pressey, Terry Cummings, Jack Sikma,
Sid Moncrief,
Sid. Yeah, that was my favorite era.
Absolutely good era. All right. Earlier today, Matt LaFleur met with the media. It's a big media day in Green Bay. He had an injury update on Devontae Wyatt. And of course, now that we're on to Pittsburgh, he was asked about Aaron Rodgers, and we thought we would take you north and let you know what the Packers coach said. This is from earlier today. Matt LaFleur at 1265.
think, you know, Stackhouse and Brinson played.
And, you know, when you got Micah, it obviously meant fewer snaps for LVN, but it also meant Kingsley's situation was a little fluid. What do you think?
All right, we are fully back.
He's given you, even those snaps haven't been the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
What do you mean?
We're back. Like we're using our we're using our old computer where the computer's back.
The way it's meant to be played. He plays with great physicality. He uses his hands well. He's been a real force, I think, in our run defense. But yeah, it's just all these guys, you know, every situation is going to be a little bit different in regards to how many snaps you're going to get. Run defense. You just got to make the most of them when your number's called.
Oh, something's wrong.
You face obviously like every great pass rusher this year. What does TJ do that's a little bit different than some of those other guys you got?
You know, and some of the role players have done a great job as well. They got a really formidable front that does a great job, not only in the pass game, but in the run game as well. There's been nobody like him, in my opinion, in the history of the game. Just his ability to get free plays. And I know that's just a small example, but I'm not going to come in here and
happyplacehemp.com. Check out our pals, Rob and Chris. They make the best CBD products anywhere. You can get them statewide by going to happyplacehemp.com using the code Drew and KB. 25% off your order every time. If you're CBD product curious, email them, call them. They will walk you through whatever questions you have. And we recommend the gummies, the Drift Seltzer, and the Drift Gummies, which is the newest product line, inspired by the Drift Seltzer, which is fantastic. And you can find it at retail outlets in the greater Milwaukee area, but they will ship it anywhere. So check them out. Happyplacehemp.com, code Drew and KB. KB, what do you got?
Well, Alan Hamill, I don't know if you know the name, but he was married to Suzanne Summers for 55 years before she died in 2023. And he's working on several projects to keep her legacy alive. One of those, he created an AI twin of the actress. He says he's been learning about AI for over 3 decades. Now, 2 years after her untimely death at the age of 76, he put plans into action to create an AI twin. He said, we've come up with this project. He shared a demo, and he said it is perfect. He goes, it was Suzanne. I asked her a few questions, and she answered them. She blew me away. And what they did was she must have voiced over 27 books. They put all the books in. They put a lot of video in. He goes, I've been with her for 55 years. I know what she looks like. I know what her face looks like. And when I look at the two of them side by side, I can't tell which one is real and which one is AI. And all I can say is, if you're messing with this AI stuff, what are you, high?
Are you high? You're huffing grass?
That is scary. Just go back and watch Three's Company and some Thigh Master videos. Commercials.
Sure, you could do that.
I mean, this is opening up a whole new world of.
It's
scary. The more that I look at this, I'm going.
Facebook tried this with like the metaverse or whatever, where you just had an avatar and you didn't have to go out. You could just sit in front of your device and like.
What?
That's what it's coming to, KB, and it's coming fast.
It's coming fast, and think about it. Think about
Scary as
no
hell.
one wants. Everyone goes, "Oh, isn't this cool?" It's like the jingly keys, but no one thinks of the ramifications of this.
I've said before, AI will be the last great human invention because AI is going to invent everything else.
Right? You can't because if you get
computers and robots take over,
because everyone's going to use AI, and then there's no one going to be smart enough to invent the next AI.
The interpersonal contact and people with artificial significant others, that's going to be on the rise.
Oh, it already is.
That's going to
There's
be
people that are marrying avatars and stuff like that, and it's like
that,
insane.
What was the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Well, there's the movie,
The Real Doll, Lars and the Real Doll.
No, that wasn't Joaquin Phoenix. That was Ryan Gosling, Lars and the Real Girl.
Yeah.
But that was a sex doll.
Yeah.
But I will say this is that whole AI thing. I can assure you, and I think people will, if there's one thing that I know coming out of COVID is that people are craving real people, and they're getting all this fake stuff shoved down their throat. It doesn't matter. You don't know who's reading the news. You don't know who's doing anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You don't know any voice that's coming over the air. You don't know anything that's on social media. You can't tell, except for Drew and I. Because there ain't no faking this.
We're as real as it gets.
We're as real as it gets. So I think that's what, our whole new thing has got to be real people. We're not AI. Why would anyone want us to be?
Exactly.
Why would anyone want to clone us?
You're not wrong.
I can tell you our wives wouldn't.
That is absolutely true. My my AR avatar would be 3 inches taller. And with 8% body fat.
I mean, I would probably be, I would be a little bit thinner, but I would lean more towards getting to dad bod rather than, anything else.
Okay.
Because right now I'm probably
goals.
Right now I'm probably drunk Uncle Bob. I just realized something that if I was to go out and have to date again and wanted to date younger women, I couldn't say, hey, you got daddy issues. I'd have to say, do you have grandpa issues?
Oh my.
You wake
That's
up one
just
day and you
wrong.
realize you'd be fetish porn. That's all I can say.
That's wrong. All right. 420. What do you hide? Brought to us by our friends at happyplacehemp.com. Check them out online and order the products. Use the code DrewandKB and 25% will fall off your bill anytime you use them. It's a fabulous products made here in Wisconsin. They ship quickly. So if you order, you won't have to wait long. It'll get to you.
Mm-hmm.
Check out happyplacehemp.com. When we come back, we're going to catch up with one of our all-time favorites, one of the OGs here, El Jefe himself.
Yes.
John Greenberg, president of the Milwaukee Admirals, former media relations director of the Milwaukee Brewers. He will join us next. You're listening to Drew and KB.
In a truck that wide like a California king. We could break it in if you know what I mean. Put some
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
in the sunshine of your
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of '67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, baby, ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to put me in leather. My baby used to put me in leather.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up.
Watch me.
KB here, just listening to the Drew and KB show. Not enough for you? You can watch us on our YouTube channel. Just search Drew and KB, click on the link, watch us live, get great content like sea otters playing basketball and Amish men moving houses. Nobody else can give you that content except for Drew and KB.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Michael Jackson songs you've thumbed up. Number 3, The Way You Make Me Feel. Number 2, Beat It. Number 1, Billie Jean.
She just a girl, but I am the one. But that's not my son.
Hear more from Michael Jackson and similar artists now. Search for Michael Jackson on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
The president, yes, the president of the Milwaukee Admirals, John Greenberg, will join Drew and KB next. Stay tuned. We're talking hockey in just a few on Drew and KB.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top John Mellencamp songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Hurt So Good. Number 2, Small Town.
No, I cannot forget somewhere it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in this small town, and people let me be just what I want to be.
Number 1, Jack and Diane.
Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on.
Hear more from John Mellencamp and similar artists now. Search for John Mellencamp on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Stay tuned. Drew and KB will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
Drew and KB bringing it to you on this Wednesday in the good land. 877-794-1973 gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Don't call us now, though. Line 1 belongs to our pal John Greenberg, president of the Milwaukee Admirals. We refer to him as El Jefe on this show. What's up, Chief?
How we doing, guys?
We're doing good. How about yourself?
Spectacular. Not good, KB.
I'm
spectacular.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Doing well. Got through opening night, and now team is heading off to California. So
With a
it's been
5-3 victory, you
That's
did.
what I wanted to ask you. You have your home opener, you're down in the game, and then lo and behold, you rise up. What would you rather have? I would think that if you draw up what you want, if you scripted it, that's the way you would do it. 3 goals in the last 8 minutes to turn defeat into victory. That's got to be more rollicking than an easy four goals in the first period. And you win 8-1, right? More fun.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Everything you'd want in a hockey game on opening night, we got. So we got a win. We had some skirmishes. We had a very lively, enthusiastic crowd. We got Frosties for everybody by scoring 4 goals. I mean, it was a win.
Does it get much better?
No complaints. No,
You get Frosty? Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, you checked
We
every
just gotta
box.
Find a way to do that 35 more times. Yeah.
You checked every box. And was the crowd into it? Was the you mentioned like the special, just the opening night hoopla? Like what was special about that as opposed to your next home game coming up on the 29th when Chicago comes to town?
Well, certainly there's the pomp and circumstance of announcing your whole team and having them all lined up on the blue line. It's the only time during the year that you do that. It's moving forward. You'll just announce your starters and go from there. We had a great anthem. We had we had the new sound system in the building, which was just so much different than what we've had in the past. That it's going to take us a little time to get used to that, and but it's when it's so much different and you don't have a whole lot of time to play with it in front of a whole lot of people, you find yourself needing to make some adjustments as you go forward. But it was just infinitely better than what we've had here in the past. So I think that added to the experience. And I think just, everything that we tried to do for an opening night went off without a hitch. So having a veteran group of people here who know what they're doing really helps make that go as smoothly as possible.
I know all of your games are available like MilwaukeeAdmirals.com, the website for tickets and information on your favorite American Hockey League club. But I know you guys have a lot of things with Flow Hockey for people to watch, but this game was on locally in Milwaukee on My 24, right? And so that's a good for people who were just flipping around the dials and got to see puck. They got to see the thrilling finish on TV, which was cool.
Absolutely. We always try to put the opener on. We've got a game on every month. The next one is, I believe, November 7th. So that one, that's our veterans, our salute to our military. So that's always a special night. But a game a month on there. But you can always catch us on Flow Hockey, which is the league's web streaming product. And if you've not seen Flow Sports before, if you sign up for one of their subscriptions, I think there's like 18 different sports you can watch on there. So,
wow.
And hockey, the hockey goes from all over the planet pretty much. So it's really a cool product, and we're kind of the headliner on there, the biggest league that they have, and we're very happy that the Admirals actually ranked last year. So having a successful team and having people in Nashville want to watch, having player families all over the world watch, it's really a cool thing.
With as many players as, and it's the same thing with baseball too. I think people are becoming more in tune with the teams, and when they're into it, with the big club, if you will, that they take that interest into seeing who's coming up next. I mean, you hear people around here with the Brewers talking about when is Mate coming up. We heard, when are they going to bring up Miz? And the same thing, with you guys and that in Nashville, I can see that. But here, I mean, you're our team, but we kind of take pride in seeing one of our guys go up.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's seeing Admirals alums go up there and score points, or be a number 1, 2, or 3 star, or even the guys who have been gone for a long time. The Roman Yossi's of the world, who's been gone for a long time. He's still an Admirals alum, and we take pride in the fact that he wore our uniform and got his feet wet in professional hockey playing for us. And it's the same thing really for anybody on our roster over time. We always say you're never a former Admiral, you're an Admirals alum. So, we take a lot of pride in that.
Talking to John Greenberg, president of the Milwaukee Admirals. MilwaukeeAdmirals.com is the website. You guys made 2 pieces of news today, and I found them both noteworthy. You announced another concert, adding to your roster of concerts.
We did our 4th and final post-game concert with Josh Ross. He is very rapidly rising up the charts, young country artist, and he's also Canadian, which is kind of fun. So I'm sure that when he gets to come here for hockey, that he'll be fully invested in that. And that concert is on March the 28th. So it's our last show. Low Cash is the first on February 7th. Gin Blossoms on February 21st. Everybody's Friends, the Dropkick Murphys, on March 7th, and then Josh Ross on March 28th, and then Badger Band on March 6th, which we'll be publicly announcing that soon. So we'll get that out there.
We got the scoop on that one. That's amazing. So will you tell Josh Ross, since he's Canadian, will you tell him that Ken Casey, to this point, is the only artist to skate around the rink during a song while performing a post-game concert?
That's right.
Games? Our buddy Kenny, he laced him up and was singing around during the finale, which was epic.
Yes, yes, it was. I'll never forget that. I will never ever forget that. And it was so cool that he was doing that. I mean, we can't name the song because there's a word in there that we shouldn't say on the radio. But that was the song, and it was fantastic. It was truly memorable.
Josh Ross has a lot to live up to with that one. Now, you also, the other piece of news you made is it warmed my cockles to see this, that you're bringing back the refrigerated jerseys.
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. So back in the 1920 season, we had the fridge jersey, which is, for those who don't know, that is the start of Admirals history. Became the Milwaukee Admirals, but the name came from the gentleman who owned the team back then, named Irv Marar, and he owned an appliance store here in Milwaukee. And the biggest brand that he sold was Admiral Appliances. So he decided, in order to do a little cross marketing, that he would name the hockey team after that brand, which he is way ahead of his time doing that sort of thing. So back in 1920, we said, well, let's wear the fridge jersey. Let's create a fridge jersey. So went to this guy, gentleman named Dan Simon, who's based in Louisville. He's the one who's designed our current logo. He also designed our third jerseys, and we said, Dan, can you come up with something for this? And he was all over that. And so it's a living, breathing refrigerator that skates.
You know what?
It's fun.
Every time I see that, I expect it to be accompanied by like a singing hot dog and soda, singing "Let's Go Out to the Lobby."
Yes.
It's very similar in style.
Yeah, so we're going to wear that. This year is the 90th anniversary of the American Hockey League. So there are quite a few teams who are creating a throwback or something that pays honor to their history, and we are doing that with the Fridge. So the Fridge jerseys, which again we were going to wear those in 1920, and then COVID hit right before we were going to wear them, and so we never got a chance to actually go on the ice with those. So we're gonna wear them now. The first time will be on December the 27th, but we wanted to roll them out now as merchandise for those, and pre-orders for Fridge jerseys started today. So if you go to MilwaukeeAdmirals.com, you can see how to do that. There's T-shirts, there's hats, there's sweatshirts, there's can koozies. It's all the good stuff. And I will tell you that our merchandise department, led by Sarah, is off to a flying start. I just asked her a few minutes ago how it was going, and she said it's been busy. So people are excited about it. We're excited to wear them.
I love it. MilwaukeeAdmirals.com if you want to go surf through the shop. And I wanted to ask you, because you guys have a very cool logo. How long have you had your current logo, your main primary logo?
I believe this is going to be this might be 10.
Kind of what I thought.
I need to go back there's in our conference room, there's a copy of the Hockey News, which rated that jersey 11th all time for hockey jerseys before we ever wore it in a game. So that year, it'll tell me what year it is just by looking at that edition of the Hockey News. But we were just talking about that today, that it's such a cool logo. It's becoming iconic, and we don't have any intention of changing that brand anytime soon.
You can't go wrong with your merch, because the current logo is kick-ass, but the historical ones are also cool.
I love the Captain
alternate
Crunch.
ones.
I love the Gorton's fish guy. He's one of my favorites. That's the only way I know how to put it.
Well,
but.
yeah, Captain. It looks like an angry Captain Crunch with the A hat. That's old school,
Oh yeah, no, that guy. The one after that with he looks like the guy from the Fish Box.
Oh yeah, I know. I know
that
one you mean.
Got one.
But yeah, the
All
Captain
right.
Crunch. There's two. But so yeah, your retro merch is really cool too. Like it's almost like you gotta, if you're on a budget, you gotta decide. I say get one of each. That'd be my solution.
Why not?
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly endorse that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the travel like for you lads? And first of all, I got to know on the way out here, given that you're playing a Canadian sport, how excited are the guys in the room about the Blue Jays playing in the World Series?
We've got some boys from Toronto who are very excited about that, and they were really hoping that was going to work out for the World Series. But we wouldn't have not been able to. We couldn't have gone to any of the games anyway, because this weekend we're in San Jose, and games 6 and 7 would have been here, and we play both nights here. So it would have been too bad. They did get to go to some of they got to go to a Cubs game. They got to go to one of the Dodger games. So it's just part of the experience of teaching these guys that this is a great place to play, is having access to those things thanks to Harris Turner. So but yeah, they're fired up for the Blue Jays. I expect if the Blue Jays are successful, that there will be much celebration, many Blue Jay hats and shirts and everything in the locker room. But so we don't have anybody from California this year, so there's no Dodger rivalry.
Love it. Love it. Greeny, thank you for hanging out with us. We
Greeny.
appreciate it. Best of luck to your lads as they head to California. We'll catch up with you next week.
Great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right.
Greeny.
Do check it out at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. And the game that they're going to unveil, the Fridge jerseys this year, there's a little concert event there with Pat McCurdy playing in the South Gold Bar.
There we go.
Going to be fun. Pat McCurdy, friend of the program, going to hang out. Outstanding. Getting close to opening Central Standard Distillery Timeout Sports Lounge. Guest Bill Schroeder, FanDuel Sports Wisconsin. We will put a bow on the Brewer season. Look ahead
Indeed we shall.
to the World Series with our buddy Rock. You're listening to Drew and KB.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In
January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Gimme Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up.
Animals need friends. For a list of 10 easy things you can do to brighten their lives, please write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's PETA, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
After a successful home opener in a 5-3 win over Texas, Milwaukee hits the road as they travel to San Jose for the first time since 2017. Into the slot, he'll find Thompson, left circle, shoots, save made, rebound, score! Pre-game on Friday at 8:30, face-off at 9 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
School sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Idolized as Earth's greatest hero in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Kevin Bacon danced his way into our movie screens in 1984's Footloose. The soundtrack gave us plenty to dance to, including the title track by Kenny Loggins.
Now I gotta cut loose, pull it loose, kick off the Sunday shoes. Please, Louise.
From
more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, animals like animals most. Maybe you think that you
Drew and KB bringing it to you on this Wednesday in the Good Land. I'm happy to be back from our commercial messages, but I missed the backyard wrestling videos already. KB's programming our stream. The breaks are entertaining. The fun never stops. Drew and KB.
Well, we just played. If you would have gone to the break, we had the top three Drew and KB phrases that you've thumbed up. Number 3 being okay, $80. Number 2 being then number 2 is your logic is not flawed, and number 1 is are you high? Are you huffing grass?
Like all of those.
All of them, man, all of them
are in the
that's the kind of we are here for we're here for ourselves, to be honest with you, but we like having you along for the ride. And if you have any requests, give it to us, because as I've said, on more than one occasion, we don't really give a rip anymore. We're just going to have fun.
On
we're
the
going to
stream
have
right
fun.
now, stuff we like. I see Diet Mountain Dew, Cheez-Its, Tom
Left
Petty and the
Lucky-
Heartbreakers, and Left Lucky
Town.
I'm wearing
Oh, you are?
a vest today. So Left Lucky Town, 72nd State Street in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
If you want to, and if you want to see, your business advertised on our stream, just hit us up on the text
Hit us
line. We'll
up.
pass it along to the right people.
Hit us up. That would be great. And
Probably going to be really cheap.
you chose the Tom Petty Damn the Torpedoes cover, which I'm a fan of
I like that.
as well.
Mhm.
Great
I
record.
love that Rickenbacker.
Great record.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a great story behind that. Mike Campbell bought that, and it's his, but Tom posed for it in the cover, and it's iconic right now.
My favorite cover story is the one with the Born in the USA with the red hat. You remember that story?
Yeah.
Where Bruce is sitting in a bar in Jersey, and there was a buddy of his whose dad just died, and they were talking about it, and he had a red hat on, and he goes, "Can I have that hat?" And it's like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Next time you see this hat, I want you to think of your dad." It's stuffed
There
in
it
his
was.
and stuffed it in his
Yeah.
back pocket and went out, and now
That was part of the photo shoot, and that wasn't like he just said the picture of his ass on the cover looked more better than his face. So,
So he
used
put
it.
that on there. But I mean, think about that, to do that for a fan. There's one guy in Asbury Park who you knew from high school whose dad died. And
Wow.
it's tributed forever on one of the best albums
There
of
you
all
go.
time.
Jeremy Allen White's walking around wearing the old Yankees hat, the 30-year-old Yankees hat that Bruce gave him. That
He had
Bruce wore
he used
all
to wear the
time.
Dolphins hat too. He had a Dolphins hat he wore quite a bit.
He's got the Yankees hat now, and like Jeremy Allen White got it as a gift from Bruce. That's pretty cool.
Really? I want to. Jeremy Allen White and Bruce are going to be on Graham Norton, or they were on Graham Norton, which is so much better than other talk shows.
Oh yeah, well, because they're drunk.
Well, they've been drinking, and I love the fact that everyone's sitting on the panel at the same time.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. When we come back, Bill Schroeder is going to join our panel. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
He is FanDuel Sports Wisconsin. He's there for all those nights and all those memories. And we're going to wrap up the baseball season, look ahead to the World Series, just catch up with our buddy Rock, because he's getting ready to head to Arizona for the chilly weather, but he's with us now. And we'll talk to Bill Schroeder coming up next. You are listening to and enjoying the show you didn't know that you can't live without. That is right. We are here. We're glad you're with us. It's Drew and KB on the game.
The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
The Milwaukee Bucks regular season opens tonight. They'll be playing Chris Middleton and the Washington Wizards. This will be Middleton's first game back in Milwaukee since last season's trade for Kyle Kuzma. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The Brewers have made their first roster move of the offseason, claiming left-handed reliever Sammy Peralta off waivers from the Los Angeles Angels. The 27-year-old Peralta had a .759 ERA this past season and has one minor league option remaining. And the San Francisco Giants have made a historic choice for their next manager, hiring University of Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello. He's the first MLB manager ever to be hired straight from the college ranks. Vitello has never played or coached professionally, but built a national championship winning program in Knoxville. I'm Dave Gasper for the Game Radio Network.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
We initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, happy to say, a good audience, and the WOMAD Festival is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
Nobody has better walk-up music in town. Bill Schroeder, Rock of FanDuel Sports Network Wisconsin, will join us next to recap the 2025 Brewers season. Rock joins Drew and KB next.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Chicago breaks through with their second album, generating 3 top 10 singles, Color My World, 25 or 624, and Make Me Smile. And Simon & Garfunkel released the album Bridge Over Troubled Water. It would win the Grammy for Album of the Year. The single of the same name would also hit number 1.
Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down.
In February of 1970, Paul McCartney files a petition with the court to dissolve the Beatles partnership. James Taylor leaves Apple Records and releases the album Sweet Baby James on Warner Brothers. He has a number 3 single with Fire and Rain and receives major publicity as a leader in the wave of new, more mellow singer-songwriters of the time.
Let it roll all night long.
The Doors get back to the blues with the album Morrison Hotel, which climbs to number 4 on the album charts. In March, Crosby, Stills, and Nash add Neil Young to their lineup and have a number 1 album with Deja Vu, which includes 3 top 40 singles. And New York hard rockers Mountain released their debut Climbing with the single Mississippi Queen.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up.
Stay tuned. Drew and KB will be back in just a moment. Broadcasting live from the top of the ratings.
How's the air up there?
This is WRNW Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. Number 1 for sports and stuff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, smart and good-looking listeners across Wisconsin.
Drew and KB's Timeout Sports Lounge is now open. So grab a bar stool and belly up because it's time to knock a few back with your host, Drew and KB.
So basically you have Jim, Jack, Johnny Red, Johnny Black, and Jose, all my favorite men.
Time for drinking, bud.
Drink up while it's cold, ladies.
Toilet wine is a big thing in there, and people get their drink on.
We sat and drank with the sun on our shoulders and felt like free men.
I don't know what inferior swill this is, but I ordered a Lagavulin. Set him up and I'll knock him back, Lloyd. 1 by 1.
We hope there isn't a single fan who is having a problem with the two-fisted slopper.
Drink. The king commands it.
They took the bar! The whole bar!
Medium dry martini, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred.
5:01. Clock on the wall tells us happy hours arrived. Welcome. We're happy you're hanging out with us. Drew and KB, our little Central Standard Distillery Timeout Sports Lounge. Central Standard, purveyors of fine spirits. They're delicious. The ready-to-pour line, the cabin strength bourbon that we love so much, the L Flag bourbon, the Guided Trail gin, the standard issue vodka, all the different products. You can find out about them at thecentralstandard.com. You can learn about the Craft House and Kitchen, which is located at Milwaukee and Clybourne Streets on the edge of downtown Milwaukee, between Easttown and the 3rd Ward.
It is.
And they're going to build a location on Concourse C of Mitchell International Airport as well. Shout out to our friends at Central Standard Distillery, thecentralstandard.com. KB, let's welcome to the program a guy that he knows his way around a bottle of Central Standard bourbon.
Indeed he does.
Welcome, music. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. Our returning champion from FanDuel Sports Wisconsin, none other than Bill Schroeder. How's it going, Rock?
Well, you got me thirsty talking about all those fine spirits in Central Standard. And, you know,
so good.
I'm a big fan of the old fashioned in a can. Not a bad choice on the golf course.
Is that on the golf course? Is that a good fishing drink too?
Anything's a good fishing drink.
I mean, I could see
but don't start drinking until you've actually caught one fish.
Right.
So
but
that's your reward.
I could definitely see wetting a line with one of those in my hand.
Oh man, yeah, just a whole cooler full. You know, that's what I use. You know, instead of fish in the live well, because I throw everything back that I catch, I use that my live well as a cooler.
There you go.
You know, just dump some ice in there, but because I never keep any of the fish I catch, so you know.
That is amazing. So, Rock, it's we're in the kind of the time warp where the Brewers just lost last Friday, less than a week ago, and it seems like a month ago that the season ended. The World Series will start on Friday night with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. But the way the Brewers exited the stage, we came around to the idea that the first 4 games of the season were not great, and the last 4 were not great. Everything in between was awesome.
Fantastic.
But,
yeah, I know. I mean, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but speaking of awesome, like when Shohei Ohtani went off like he did, you just gotta tip your cap. I mean, Rock, you've been watching the game, you've been involved in the big leagues for a long time. That was ridiculous.
I've never seen anything like it, and I don't think we ever will again unless he does it again. You know, with the pitching, the 10 punch outs, and the 3 homers. I mean,
it's laughable.
Wall scrapers, were they? I mean,
dear
in
God.
all honesty, I mean, the Brewers were able to control that guy pretty much for the first part of the series, but then when they really needed him, and he made this start, and he started hitting bombs. I mean, it was something to behold. I mean, it's unfortunate that it happened against the Brewers in Game 4, part of a sweep. But I think we saw something that will never be replicated again. So it's one of those things where what are you going to do? Tip your hat, I mean, the Brewers pitching was really good all series. But unfortunately, the Dodgers pitching was even better, and they just couldn't get over the top.
I mean, he hit those balls out of Chavez Ravine.
Literally out. The
literally
completely out in right center.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the guy, he makes $250 million for a reason, and if anybody's worth that kind of money, which I don't think anybody is, but I mean, if anybody's worth it, it's probably him.
Well, I mean, people might say Kirk Gibson is the greatest home run in Dodgers playoff history, and Ohtani just went, hold my beer.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, right. This is, here, watch this, and then make another assumption, right? I mean, geez.
crazy. But again, if in summary, with the season, I hope people aren't. I mean, it's disappointing the way it happened and the way they got swept, but I hope it doesn't take away from anybody's enjoyment of the regular season. It was a magical year. I mean, given the fact that the way they started, everybody was throwing dirt on the Brewers after the first 4 games, and the way they were able to come back and all these young players. And again, I mean, it's a learning curve for these guys. I mean, they're going to be better for what they went through this year. They're going to be better for it next year. It's a young team, the youngest team in the playoffs, and there's just nothing but upside for these guys. It's going to be fun to watch.
Rock, do you think there was a bit of a hangover that the series with the Cubs went 5 and it was so emotional for them to kind of slay that dragon? Do you think there was a bit of a hangover, or is that just looking for reasons?
I don't know. I mean, hangover, I don't know if you can call it a hangover. It's just they ran into a really, really good, talented baseball team, and there wasn't a whole lot they can do about it. I mean, the pitching for the Dodgers in that series was incredible. And, everybody, I get a question asked a lot. I mean, was it the Brewers hitting or was it the Dodgers pitching? I think, the Dodger pitching, the starting rotation, I mean, those guys are amazing. I mean, 8 innings in game 1, 9 innings in game 2. I mean, it's like you don't see that stuff in the playoffs. And those guys were impressive. It was an impressive performance by the Dodgers. Now they've got the Blue Jays to contend with, and we'll see how that goes. I know that I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, everybody's disappointed. When you had the ALCS and you had the NLCS, I mean, I think everybody was looking for 2 teams that had never really won a World Series. Seattle and the Brewers. And that would have been a nice series.
In an alternate universe, yeah, that would have been great, given all the storylines and stuff. Toronto's a pretty good club, and that was a good series that went 7. And Vlad Guerrero, as much fun as it is to watch Shohei, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is fun to watch too.
He doesn't take a back seat to anybody, does he? I mean, he's stealing bases and he's hitting homers, and how about George Springer with that big home run? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, being in a position like that. I mean, his team is down, by a couple of runs, and he hits a 3-run home run late. I mean, it kind of reminds you of back when the Toronto Blue Jays and Joe Carter hit the game winner, in the World Series. But I tell you, you got some, top shelf talent that's going to be on display in the World Series. I'm looking forward to watching it. Starts on Friday. Especially the way Toronto lost the first 2 games at home. You thought that, wow, okay, I think Seattle's got this, but not to be. It was an amazing comeback.
People are like, well, Brewers were so hopeless against the Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers absolutely ragdolled Cincinnati in the first round. And then, they basically stuffed Philadelphia in a locker. They gave up 1 game there. So they're 10-1 or whatever they are in the playoffs. So yeah, they're legit. And we know, but Rock, nothing that happened in the LCS can negate the fun that we had over the course of the season and the way people bonded with this team and just the way it kind of just took over the city. And that was I was having an existential conversation with a buddy of mine. Like, what would you rather root for? A team that's a dynasty that you expect to win all the time, like the Dodgers, or a bunch of upstart, scrappy guys who capture your heart like the Brewers? I think it's more fun what we had this summer.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, we had the time of our lives this summer. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and, given the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of expectations on these guys coming in, I mean, I've said it many times. I even said it, on the air during broadcast, the so-called experts picked the Brewers 4th in the division this year. And, lo and behold, they win their 3rd consecutive division title. They beat the Cubs in the playoffs. And I think that, as far as fans go, I think that it stung to get swept by the Dodgers. But can you imagine what would be said if the Brewers got knocked out of the playoffs by the Chicago Cubs? I think that that was the one series that they needed to win. They did win it. And maybe the emotion of that, with the way the crowds were and all that, especially at Wrigley Field. I mean, that was a buzzsaw in Wrigley. I mean, I think that I've never heard the Wrigley crowd like that before. And that's why they won a couple of games. The Brewers were able to get it back to Milwaukee and won that. So our fans take a back seat to nobody. I mean, I was at that game, and it's an amazing thing. I mean, I think our fans, far and away, best fans in baseball. When you consider the small market, 2.8 million people went through the turnstiles this year. We just got to give a lot of credit to the Brewer fans, sticking with them and giving their heart and soul every single night. I mean, you watch games on TV and you see a lot of ballparks half empty, and not a lot of people at the ballpark, but not at our ballpark. Our fans come in droves, and they're loud, they're supportive, and they're going to get a World Series. I don't know if it's going to be next year, maybe the year after, but this is a team that's going to get them to the World Series.
Whether it was like 35% of the games were sellouts or something, and not, most of them came to in the last part of the year when they started rolling. That was fantastic. It's a lot more fun to go with 35, 36, 37,000 other people than it is with, 2,700. And we've been through those.
Yeah, 37. Yeah, I know. We've been through that. And
Yes, we have.
Going through that right now, as a matter of fact. Pittsburgh and Colorado, you watch games when the team was on the road and hardly anybody at the ballpark. Not picking on those two cities, but, I mean, we're very fortunate. These players are fortunate. They recognize the effect that this Brewers fan base has on them at home. They had a great home record this year, and a large part of it is because of the support that they get each and every night from the first inning on. It's great to see.
Talking to Bill Schroeder here, FanDuel Sports Wisconsin, Drew and KB. Rock, one of the things I've been telling people is it might have had a different arc, and the loss to the Dodgers would feel different had the Brewers won the first round series. Let's say they beat the Padres and then they beat the Cubs, right? But they won the series they didn't play. By having the best record in the league, they didn't have to play a series. And to me, that's a win. And I got to keep reminding people of that, because they didn't spray champagne per se, but they won a series by not playing it.
Well, they sprayed champagne when they ended up, getting, the bye, and all that. And, but you know what, it's funny because, I was watching the Dodgers at the end of that game, the game 4, and there wasn't a whole lot of, jumping around and going crazy because, they expected to win. And I think this Brewers team expected to win. They expected to win the division. They expected to win those 97 games, and they did that. And, and they won the division, the best record in the game, but they realized that wasn't the ultimate goal. And you got to really tip your hat to what Pat Murphy refers to as the pillars of this team, keeping these guys focused. Let's not get excited about winning the division. We expected to do that, so we got work to do, and let's keep our focus on that.
All right, Rock, you talk about pillars. Freddie Peralta, the day after the Brewers were eliminated, they started to see it on social media that the Brewers are going to listen to offers for Freddie Peralta. And to me, that would be like the worst thing that could happen. I guess I could see it intellectually, but man, you got to bring that guy back for another year. He signed for a cheap deal, and it just seems like to me, he's the ultimate Brewer. And I'd try to extend him. I know Matt Arnold's doing his wrap up tomorrow at 3:30. And of course he's going to be asked about that, but man, I can't envision them trading Freddie Peralta. What do you think?
Well, he provides so much. I mean, here's a guy that hasn't missed a start since 2023. And, for a guy, a starting pitcher that can boast that is rare. I mean, there's not many starting pitchers that can say that in this day and age. Everybody's going on the injured list. And, just the fact that he's available to his team every fifth day is, says a lot about Freddie Peralta and his desire, to be out there. And the fact that he won 17 games. Oh, yeah, okay, well, it'd be nice for him to get a little deeper into games, but who does that anymore, right? I mean, you talk about guys going 6 innings and they expect him to be, carried off on the field on guys' shoulders. I mean, that's kind of the way the game is. I mean, it's a bullpen game now. I mean, so if you can get 5-6 innings out of your starter on most nights, I mean, that's pretty good. And Freddie was able to provide that. So, I think that the Brewers have been entertaining offers on players throughout. To say that they're entertaining offers is one thing. To accept an offer for a guy like Freddie Peralta, it's going to be a big ask. The Brewers are not going to give him away. And, I think that they're thinking that with a Freddie Peralta on our pitching staff next year, we have even a better chance of, winning that 4th straight division title and getting to the World Series this time. So it's going to be a big ask. They're going to be asking a lot for Freddie. And, again, mixed emotions whether he gets traded or not.
Well, I mean, a guy that hasn't missed a start in 4 years, if you want to talk about an incredible stat, that's one right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Being available. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, guy, it's like Contreras. I mean, the guy played most of the season with a broken finger. Most guys are going to be on the injured list, right? I mean, guys have the desire to play, and it was like Robin Yount, and it was like Prince Fielder. I mean, they come to the ballpark every single day, they strap on their uniform, and they expect to play, and they expect to play every inning, and that's what you get out of Freddie Peralta. That's what you get out of a lot of these young Brewer players. I mean, they're trying to make a name for themselves, and the only way to do that is to be on the field, and that's what they have been able to do. So I mean, it's a culture with the Brewers, and I think Christian Yelich establishes that culture. Pat Murphy, I tell you, the toughness of this team, I think a lot of it has to do with Ricky Weeks. I mean, you guys remember when Ricky was a player, there wasn't a tougher guy on the face of the earth than Ricky Weeks. I mean, physically and mentally, what he had to go through. The fans gave him a hard time every now and again, but he was able to persevere. So a lot of the culture and a lot of the character of this Brewer team being tough and resilient comes from Ricky Weeks.
Absolutely. Rock, what's on your plate? What's next? When are you heading to Arizona? I know you love fall in Wisconsin, but it's too cold to golf and fish.
Right. Both are out of the question, particularly tonight. I'm going to be, hunkered down. I'm going to watch the World Series. We're going to head to Arizona sometime, before Thanksgiving, and then come back for Christmas. So, we were in Arizona for Christmas last year, 85 degrees. We were on the golf course.
Love
no
it.
family around. We said, this stinks.
Yeah.
So we're coming back. We're going to come back for Christmas, hang out with the grandkids and the kids, and enjoy some cold weather for only a few weeks. Though,
Yes.
and then we'll be heading back.
Of course. And then
But
before
again,
you know it, it's fantasy camp and then spring training, and we're right back at it. It's awesome.
Fantasy camp, fantastic. January 17th, guys come flying in, and we've got 100 signed up, so it's going to be a fun one.
Rock, thanks for hanging out with me.
Rock.
We appreciate it. We'll talk to you down the road. Safe travels. Enjoy the off season, buddy.
Keep up the good work, guys. Love having being on with you guys, and I'll be on anytime with you.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Rock.
Thanks, Rock.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bill Schroeder, FanDuel Sports Wisconsin. When he, he was broadcasting with Matt LePay, and we talked to Matt LePay, the voice of the Badgers, earlier today. And we thought, well, that was a good interview. We had fun talking to Matt. We're going to play a little in case you missed it.
Here we go.
So stay tuned. We will revisit our conversation from earlier, talking all things Badgers and baseball with Matt LePay next.
guy who played here named Brian Vraney, who was on the basketball team. Didn't play a ton of minutes, but he was on the team. Great guy. And he was a coach at Beloit College, their basketball program at the time. And he sends me an email. And this is, whatever year it was in the 90s. Hey, there's this guy, Joe Davis. He's really good. He's driven. He was quarterback for a football team, and he's doing stuff, calling basketball and doing, could you meet with him? So we had lunch a couple times when he was a student, and he recalls it better than I, because spring football games to me are not like, it's a spring football game. At other places, you pack the stadium, not so much here. But he actually sat in the booth during a spring game broadcast, of which he would have learned nothing. I mean, we didn't prep. You didn't prep. You didn't put the boards together the way you would for a regular season game. But he brings that up. And it's been a while since we've talked. But he was just one of those guys that, yes, and what he did, which was really smart. I mean, he had lunch with me, which is probably not that smart, but he picked the brains of a lot of different people. He's from Michigan, so I think at the time, maybe he touched base with Ernie Harwell, certainly Pat Hughes, and Brian Anderson for sure, as his career was starting to unfold. But he was one of those guys who would, if it's summer league ball where you're working for nothing, he would do it. And then he was the youngest guy in AA. He was just one of those success stories that people think is overnight, but those of us who knew him back in college even were not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Davis, Dave Pash, guys like that, Evan Cohen. There's probably not a hell of a lot of advice I could give those guys, because they were so ahead of the curve. Yeah. And Joe was certainly, and we all see the way his career has blossomed.
Oh, goodness, they're all gym rats. We're talking to Matt LePay, voice of the Badgers here, Drew and KB. Those guys are they live it. And I know Joe Davis replacing Vin Scully is not. There's a lot of veteran guys who wouldn't want to sit in that chair, right? And he did it, and now he's got the national thing going, and he's going to be on the airwaves and calling great moments for the next 40 years. It's amazing.
He is. He's such a young guy, and it's just, I think we were talking about this last week at the football/baseball feast. I with MLB, with the app, I like to listen to other broadcast teams. Some guys you get to know in my time as a fill-in for BA. But, he's very down the middle, as you would expect during a national broadcast, but he knows how to chop it up. He works with Oral Hershiser on Dodgers television, and they have a lot of fun during it, but it's LA, and you are the next guy after Vin Scully, but he does it in his own way, but it's just such a high level. I think, maybe I'm biased, but I don't think I am in this case, because I think people really like his work. So it's fun for me to see guys like that. Jason Benetti with Fox, and now the Detroit Tigers. He's another one of those guys that you just kind of knew, and there wasn't much that they needed to hear from me. If anything, you just knew that they were destined. And above all, the common thread with those guys, they're all really good dudes too. They don't just find the important guys or the people who they think are important, be nice to them, and then crap on everybody else. They're nice to everybody, and that stuff matters.
That is cool.
So, Matt, you've slid in the chair next to Bill after BA. If you were looking at it right now, who would you not want to be the guy after the guy after?
Ooh, good. The guy after the guy.
You don't want to be after this guy. I mean, there's so many, but what would be tough?
Man, that's a
like Uke. I mean,
Uke.
Uke is, and I think the combination they've had over there, with Grinny, and then when Jeff is over there, they have made that work so well, because Bob was so loyal to them and those guys to him. I think because they have been part of the broadcast, so that's a little bit of a different animal. And I think even Joe was doing a lot of the road games when Vin wouldn't travel east of the Rockies, so Joe got his feet wet. It's a great question. I think right now, like if you're a local person, I don't know how many people would relate, but I think the next in line for the Giants television, the Kuiper-Krukow combination has been so good. The Mets, Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez. That next person up would be pretty daunting. when Jeff is already for BA. Jeff does the majority of the games, but that's a good one. I think nationally, that's a. I have to get back to you on that one. That's too good of a question. Be a lot of them. That's good.
I mean, there are, but
What
would be? I mean, calling Wisconsin, you called the Brewers to know you're a big ball fan. Do you have a dream job? Do you want to do the Olympics, like fencing or
curling,
or anything?
What? My guy Chris Foster is going to call some of the Winter Olympics. He's going to do it out of studio here in the States, but he's done that for a few times. I'm kind of doing it. I thought, growing up, I thought being a baseball announcer would be the greatest thing ever. And maybe if I would have gotten into it earlier in life, that would have been a lifelong job. But I was filling in later in life, and it just, with the other things going on, it just didn't make sense to me to continue to do what I was doing, juggling all three things. I didn't know growing up, KB, that this would be it, but I knew when I was in college that I wanted to be a college broadcaster. I never had the aspirations of, being the voice of Monday Night Football or, any of the major networks. I just wanted to see if I could carve a niche wherever that was. And so I guess I'm living that, I know the football season's bad right now, but those were my goals, and maybe that's modest, but for me, it's really worked out well just to be the voice of a college team and be somebody who is at a place for a long time, which I've been lucky enough to do that.
Well, I mean, you are the soundtrack to our Saturday afternoons.
Very true. Or in this case, this weekend, Saturday night. Evening again.
I mean, a Saturday. I mean, I'm sure you might have to dust this one off, but a Saturday is not a Saturday without hearing, well, at least for the last two, touchdown Wisconsin.
Very true.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to say that again at some point. But what I tell myself in years like this is that I've been pretty flippin' lucky to be around for some of the greatest teams ever play here. So it's like I'm not exactly feeling sorry for myself, because I feel bad for a hell of a lot of people, but I'm not one of them. I've been around for a lot of the great moments. So now you just have to be a pro. If they're 12-0 or 0-12 or whatever in between, you still a game broadcast. It's not a debate show. It's not, you tell the truth, but you try to have kind of the Euchre approach, quite frankly. Nobody is as funny as he is. Nobody can spin a story the way he could. But you tuned in because it wasn't doom and gloom when you listened to a Brewers game when they were bad, because Bob Euchre was so entertaining. So we try to do our poor man's version of that during the course of a real tough year of Wisconsin football.
We are chatting with Matt LePay, the voice of the Badgers here, Drew and KB. So this morning, I wanted to make sure I had some details right, because memories fade, of the Badgers-Ducks Rose Bowl matchups I wanted to ask you about. And then I stumbled upon something more immediate, and it's one of those life comes at you fast. 11 months ago, Oregon came as the #1 team in the country to Camp Randall, and the Badgers were ahead at the jump around. Is it just me, or does that seem like 100 years ago at this time? Because that was 13-6.
It does. We were talking the other day as a group of us, even like 2019 seems like 25 years ago in a lot of ways, the way the world's changed and all of that. But yeah, it does. I was recording Fickle's show today, and kind of getting a refresher. I said, what gave you guys a chance in that game? And defensively, they didn't give up big plays. It was a defensive struggle, and you're right, they were up, and Oregon went for it on 4th down, like 4th and 9, 4th and 10 from near midfield. Dan Lanning, the head coach, took a chance, and he had guys like Dylan Gabriel and a lot of talent around him. They converted, and Oregon went on to win the game. But I think what also helped, guys, was that Oregon had been on a long run without a bye. They looked like the tank. It looked like the tank was getting low. They didn't play particularly well, but they were so good. They played well enough where they were able to get out and win the game and go on to win the Big Ten championship. But I thought Wisconsin was able to grind out a touchdown drive near the end of the first half, and they made Oregon earn it. So many times we've talked in the last 2, 3, or maybe longer years where the Badgers have just given away stuff, were silly turnovers, and that was a game where they made Oregon go out and earn the win.
That was that was something. And then that reminded me that the Badgers were ahead in even, wasn't it a halftime too against USC and Penn State last year?
Yes, they were.
Both games ahead at half, I think, against ranked teams. So, man, life comes at you fast. So, Matt, the Oregon thing, I was thinking about the Rose Bowls, and when Oregon came over, they don't have history against Rutgers, Maryland, Michigan, but they have history against the Badgers, and unfortunately, it's tilted their way because that was the Russell Wilson year and the Jonathan Taylor year, and the Badgers had really good teams that year and then lost the last game of the season. And how did those games impact things? Like, I think Russell Wilson that year, they had national championship aspirations, and then if they had won that Rose Bowl, we'd probably look at his window even differently than we do now.
Yeah, offensively, it was an electrifying team. It scored like 43 points, 44 points, give or take, per game. They could score from anywhere on the field at any time. They were explosive. You had Russell. You had guys like Nick Toon, Jared Abbrederis, Monte Ball in the backfield. I mean, they had talent all over the place and a really good offensive line. Defensively, they were good. They weren't great, but they were good. This J.J. Watt guy decided to go out early after 2010, which was obviously the right decision. But I always tell myself, had he come back, which would probably not have been a good business decision, he would have made the plays necessary to win the close games. All three games they lost were heartbreakers. They lost on a Hail Mary against Michigan State. They lost on something pretty close to a Hail Mary in the final minute against a Luke Fickell coached Ohio State team that really wasn't all that good that year, but they made a play when they had to. And then the Rose Bowl was a shootout. Oregon was really good offensively. They played at a real fast pace. Chip Kelly was the coach. And Wisconsin's driving down to try to get into the end zone in the final minute. They were out of timeouts, and they ran out of time. Wilson tried to clock the ball, but it was too late, and they were well into Oregon territory. Oregon wins by 7. But after the game, he was talking with Brett, Bielema, the coach at the time. Had Wisconsin scored in the last second, he was going to go for 2. So they were going to mess around with overtime. It was either win or lose right here. And unfortunately, we never saw that scenario unfold. But I don't think, as good as that Oregon offense was that year, I don't think the Badgers, which had a great offense too, but I just don't think they were interested in going into OT with that Oregon team. And then in 19, that was a giveaway. They just made a lot of mistakes, a couple silly turnovers, some key penalties. Justin Herbert ran for 3 touchdowns, which was a little uncharacteristic.
I remember that. He was supposed to be the golden arm, and he ended up scoring 3 read option touchdowns against him.
Yeah, and they did. Wisconsin did. That was a real coulda, shoulda. I remember walking out of the Rose Bowl and talking to my counterparts at Oregon, and they said, "Boy, that was a gift wrap." Yeah, thanks. thanks for reminding me. It was a 1-point game. It was like most Rose Bowls. Like Wisconsin in its history has been in 10 Rose Bowls. 9 of them have been 1-score games. 9 of them.
Wow.
And that was a gut punch. The game after the 2020 Rose Bowl, it turned out to be, because that was a game I thought Wisconsin had the better team, but it just didn't play well enough to win that day.
You mentioned Dillon Gabriel. He's moved on to playing on Sundays. Is Dante Moore better? Is he the best quarterback in the league this year? What's your take? What are you seeing on film from him?
No, I think the best quarterback in the league they may have faced last week in Julian Sand. But Moore is good. He's a transfer from UCLA. He's getting his chance this year at like 72% completion percentage. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They've got the weapons. They got a really good pass catching tight end, good wide receivers. They'll rotate 4 or 5 running backs. I mean, I don't think anybody has more than 34, 35 carries, but a guy named Noah Winnington is very explosive. He's a breakaway runner. And then they got a freshman who's more of a bruising kind of running back. But Moore is good. When he needs to run it, he will. And he just seems to be really smart with the ball. And the one thing about Oregon, too, I think the old Pac-12 teams have this reputation of being very finesse, which they have really good skill players, but they're really physical up front, too. They've done a good job. They do have a pretty good budget. So they have 4 new offensive linemen via the transfer portal. and they're really good. They score 44 points a game. They're very balanced, but when they want to just line up and run it, they're physical enough to do that.
We talked to Polzin this weekend. Again, I thought the Badgers competed against Michigan, against Ohio State. They were in there. Obviously, it was overmatched and overwhelmed a little bit, but I saw guys battling. And Polzin made a good comment, and I hadn't thought of that Ohio State, I don't know, maybe if it was because of the Fickle connection or something, they did play some backups early, and they kind of, like, I don't want to say backed off the gas, but Polzin's of the opinion that Lanning wants to send statements and will, if possible, run it up and play his starters and keep the pressure on and probably try to cover a big spread that they have. What do you think? Is that something that could be in the cards? Because he does seem like that kind of guy.
Yeah, no, I do think Ohio State pulled back because those folks do have a lot of respect for Luke and the other Ohio State guys who are on the Wisconsin staff, and they could have been worse than. I don't think that's a stretch to say that it could have been worse than 34-0. Oregon's aggressive. I don't think it's anything personal that I know of between Fickle and Dan Lanning. They took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter last week against Rutgers. I mean, the game was over pretty quickly in their game at Rutgers last week, and it ended up being 56-10. They didn't score, I think, in the fourth quarter. They went with their backup quarterback and other backups in the fourth quarter, but they're explosive enough. I'm sure getting into the 50s, they would do it without any feeling of guilt, and nor should they if they can't get stopped. But yeah, I think that, Oregon's a team that certainly is capable of putting up a lot of points. Indiana is another one of those teams the Badgers will face next month. And when they face Illinois, I don't know if Illinois is really explosive offensively, but I know that if Brett has a chance to, keep punching, he's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that here when he was the Badgers coach. They scored 83 against Indiana in a game. They had backups in, but they were still playing football. So
It ain't happening now.
that stuff, I've seen Wisconsin do it to teams, so I can't be all whiny if it happens against them. But I think that the way to keep the team under 100 is to maybe tackle somebody or keep your offense on the field. I don't know if the mercy rule is going to be that much in effect.
I just remember when Jimmy Johnson just wiped up Notre Dame, and they asked him about running up the scoring because it's not my job to stop scoring; it's their job to stop me.
Well, that's the thing. And Lanning, like when they lost to Indiana, they're trying to still recover that and trying to get there. They have goals, and I guess they should. What are they, 6th in the country going in? That's not about
Yeah, I think right now the Big Ten's in pretty good shape to get 3 into the playoff right now with Ohio State, Indiana, and those two teams look like they're on a path to see each other in Indianapolis and certainly Oregon. I mean, you got some other teams trying to build a resume and make an argument, but those 3 programs, barring the unforeseen, they'll be a part of it, and the league certainly could go deeper than that. So now Oregon is really good. It had won 18 straight at home until Indiana got there a couple of weeks ago. So that tells you how good Indiana is again this year.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the games of the league this year for them to go to Oregon and win that one, and that was a statement to me. That was a pretty good ball game.
Yeah,
going to be some fun.
Hey, KB, to your question, who would be the guy who would be the tough to replace? He's not necessarily a play-by-play guy, but Ernie Johnson. They're still doing it, right? They're still doing it inside the NBA.
Yes,
but that would be a tough one if he stepped away to step in there and work with that crew.
Oh,
that could be the toughest assignment of all.
You'd have to herd those cats. Oh my. We had him on the air at the Hall of Fame, and he was a treasure.
Yeah, he's incredible. Absolutely. The elevator, no question about it. Matt, safe travels to Oregon. Appreciate your time.
Thanks,
today.
Matt. Enjoy the
looking
West.
forward to the call. Yeah. Have you been to that stadium before? Is that another one you're checking off the box?
No, I was there in 2001. Yeah, they're talking about 50 degrees and heavy rain, so we got.
The full experience.
Bring it.
I forgot there was that home and home that quick home and home they had in the early 2000s.
And you're out in Oregon, you want a smoothie, you can go find a place you can ride a bike to power the blender. To make your own.
Well, it's a Grateful Dead theme out there this week, boys.
Oh
Imagine that.
boy,
So, yeah.
I want to see the uniforms.
Oh boy, Oh, that's going to be some fun. Outstanding. Thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Love catching up with the Hall of Famer, voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay. When we come back, time to close up shop here in the Central Standard Distillery Timeout Sports Lounge. We do that with Last Call. That's next. Drew and KB.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK, and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker. Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in '76 and yield the top 10 hit Dream On. The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide. And June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have their top 10 album, Jumpsuit. In February of '73, June 73, George Harrison scores a number 1 Babies along with 3 top 1 singles. Elton John also has a number 1 album, and his album goes to number 1 with 2 top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Strong. Paul McCartney and Wings have a number 1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to number 1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you, and the sun is a great spot of you.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
KB here, just listening to the Drew and KB show. Not enough for you? You can watch us on our YouTube channel. Just search Drew and KB, click on the link, watch us live, get great content like sea otters playing basketball and Amish men moving houses. Nobody else can give you that content except for Drew and KB.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Runnin' and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of '73, George Harrison scores a number 1 single.
With heavy hearts, we have to shut down this here bar of ours, the Central Standard Distillery Timeout Sports Lounge, our happy hour oasis. Happy you hung out with us today. And it's time for last call. KB, what's in your cup as you slide on down the back of the dinosaur into the evening?
Just like yesterday, what's in my cup is I always get a thrill out of talking to Matt LePay. I certainly hope this weekend, although it is going to be an uphill battle, that we'll get to hear his dulcet tones say touchdown Wisconsin. But I enjoy talking to him and hearing that he would not want to follow Ernie Johnson. He would not want to be the guy after the guy with Ernie Johnson. That's an interesting call because Matt can hang with anyone.
Interesting. Hunter, you got anything in your cup?
Yes, the Brewers made their first move of the offseason today. That was signing Sammy Peralta. He joins Vinny Capra and Tobias Myers as a couple of the first moves of the Brewers offseason. Tobias was a couple years ago, Vinny Capra as well. We'll see what Sammy does.
My last call is that in my heart, I'll be at the Bucks home opener tonight, season opener. But I'll actually be at a musical with my wife, and I am.
I wish I was.
I don't think I'm not husband of the year. I'm not a hero, but I am taking one for the team tonight. We had some good stories about people taking one for the team when you'd rather be doing something sports related or watching a game or attending a game, and you have to do something else. We've all been through it, and I do. The pendulum has swung my way. I don't have to do this very often, but I'm taking one for the team tonight. I will report on the exploits tomorrow on what happens. Tomorrow on the program, well, just join us. We'll figure out what we're gonna
find
do.
us on YouTube.
Yeah, figure it. We'll figure
People
out
getting injured by fireworks.
I do know we'll be back at 2. See you then.
Make your choices.